So I had an article that was written by me about me since I ran for lieutenant governor. Immediately, that seems to be the only thing that the Kentucky voters who don't vote, the 87% who don't vote, and the media seem to understand. At no point did the media bother to ask me what would be my policies, what kind of person I am. Nothing like that. It didn't matter. It was a hit piece. Hey, we found something bad about him, so let's fuck him over. Well, it's the criminal so-called, justice system. It's not for justice. It's an injustice system. The very first thing I want to talk about is the expungement. Okay, so I'm looking, as soon as that article is written about me, I don't have any secrets. So I put everything out there. And I went ahead and put my criminal record out there. What's my criminal record? I don't cheat, I don't steal, I don't hit, I don't murder, I don't rape, I don't do anything bad to other people. Okay, so the very first one we have here is speeding 14 miles per hour over the limit. Now, I had said guilty, and there's another one speeding 10 miles over the limit, so if it was dismissed or not guilty, you could get it expunged, but if there is something that is redundant or it's several times on your record, no, you cannot get it expunged, you cannot get it off your record. So 10 years ago, June 24th, almost to the date, 10 years ago, this is in Campbell County. I do remember this day. This is a day I was going to meet up with some of my family to go to Kings Island, I believe. So I was late, and so, I was rushing, and 14 miles per hour over the speed limit. It's a 55 zone. I was driving 70, whatever. So it's 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I've seen police officers just zoom by on the interstate. Just drive as fast. They ain't chasing anybody. They just drive fast because they're above the law. They do whatever the hell they want to do. And if I got a badge, I pull that guy over. Now that cop has a criminal record. Now he's speeding. So he is breaking the law. How dare you break the law? And so if I was to do that, right, then it's on his record for the rest of his life. And so, I mean, the whole thing is just ridiculous. So even if I wanted to get it expunged, I cannot get that expunged. Now, there's a couple things that was dismissed here. There was operating on a suspended, revoked operator's license. I didn't have a license to show the guy at the time. I showed it at court, dismissed. Failure to register, transfer a motor vehicle. I went ahead and transferred it, and then it got dismissed. No or expired registration tags. I think I've just paid it all up, and they went ahead and dismissed all the charges. Since it was dismissed, that is eligible to be expunged. So, that's in 2005, 2005. So there's 3 charges in 2005. All of them were, I can get them dismissed. The problem is I have to pay $50. I got to pay $50. So let's go to a more clear-cut case, because a case that most people know about me is this library book fiasco. Now, the library book fiasco, I think, is a very good indication, a very good sort of shows what kind of system we have. Okay, so I was driving to an interview in Bowling Green. Cop pulls me over, not for any reason. He was tailgating me like a psycho. I'm driving, very careful, very on the path. You got my little, kind of my piece of crap vehicle, and I'm just driving, and he's tailgating me. That's okay, right? They can tailgate. And what happened was I didn't have tags, I didn't have insurance. And so he pulled me over for that reason, and then he looked through his system. And he looked at his computer, and it says, well, the computer says that, you got a warrant for your arrest over this library book. Now, I go before Kenton County in front of Easterling, and he was like, you took money from the taxpayer and everybody else in here, so how dare you, do this? Basically just reaming me and treat me like an asshole. So there was 3 books, and it was a total of $60 is what I had owed to the library. I paid $30. The library guy actually was very nice about it. So I got the situation. As soon as I knew about the situation, I got it taken care of. Now, if we want to go back, let's actually just talk about the library book thing. Okay, so the library book, I had checked out some library books. I was living here, living there. I didn't have parents that allowed me to stay at their house while I was going to college. There was a lot of tension, basically it's oppression. Do as I tell you, or else I'm going to pound your face in. And if you ever decide that you are a human being, or maybe a man, no way. I cannot tolerate that. You need to get the hell out of the house. So I had no place to go. So I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, right? Valedictorian, straight A's, and almost wondered if that's the thing. It's like, well, he's smart. He's going to do well. He's going to show off and, you know, people's ego because he's going to be better than me. If my kids are better than, that's my goal, is for my children to be better than me. Every generation should get better. But if my ego prevents them from succeeding, it's the difference between rich dad and poor dad. Poor dad is so insecure about his position in the world and the amount of money that he makes, he doesn't actually level with the kids and actually talk to them about the things that he goes through and his financial decisions. He's very insecure. Now, rich dad, the people that have, you know, that have money but also want to see their kids do well, they'll make sure their kids have a financial literacy. Okay, so the library book. Okay, so in 2004, I checked out some library books. I was staying at my aunt's house, and you know, it's my life is actually it's kind of embarrassing. It's absolutely been a joke. You know, that's one thing for people to sort of be jerks. I don't know. I just don't understand that mentality because I have struggled for such a long time. If I can't help you, I'm not going to do any harm to you. So I was able to, you know, and it's rough too because I had like 20-something different addresses, 30 different addresses, a bunch of jobs. And this is one of the reasons. So I had, because I couldn't go back to, you know, the psycho's house and his wife, because I couldn't go back, I had to find other people's, you know, I didn't have the money to get my own place, so what am I going to do? Either I'm homeless out in the streets or I got to find somebody that will lodge me. Now, while I'm staying at my aunt's house, there was, it was oppression all the time. It was very much in my face and it was all the time and it wasn't fun and it wasn't comfortable. I hated every second of it. And eventually, one day, I'm just kind of sitting on the bed, just kind of reading my book and just kind of, you know, I don't know, I was doing some homework or something, but I was in my bed and my aunt comes over to me and she was just sort of petting my head like I'm like some dog or a cat, right? And she was trying to be sympathetic or empathetic, but she has no soul. She can't do that. So when she's sitting there, you know, explaining about how life actually is, she says, well, you know, some people just need to be kicked in the ass. Sometimes you just got to kick someone in the ass. And I told, you know, my my cousin's wife at the time about what she had said, and she just laughed outright. She said that to you? Ha 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 ha. And it was humiliating, it was embarrassing, and, you know, in some respects, because I grew out of oppression, whenever someone sort of insults me or does something to me, I kind of laugh about it or shrug my shoulders to it. I'm not recognizing that somebody is actually being a dick to me. So when she laughed, I was like, man, that was kind of shitty. Yeah, someone needs to kick me in the ass, well, maybe someone needs to kick you in the ass. Oh, all of a sudden, I'm a bad guy if I say that. That could be said to me, that's okay. But if I said it back, then I'm the one that's the bad guy. I got kicked in the ass like 5,000 times inside the household. Some people like to post a meme, if you don't beat up your own kids, then the criminal justice system is going to beat your kids up for you. That's stupid. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. In fact, they say it, I think it's racist people that say it, but they're saying it about black people. And the black people, a lot of the mothers that I know and the fathers are some of the most violent people. You know, they beat their kids. They very much beat their kids. I remember getting into an argument in U of L with Dexter and Lattimore. And I talked to Dexter and I was sitting there telling him how, you know, not only was it bullshit what I had gone through as a kid, but as I get into an adult, of which I'll explain later on, the oppression has never stopped. In fact, this year, the oppression is still looming. Is he not going to keep on filing these charges against me? Will he ever stop? Will anybody ever say, damn it, no, justice says you injured him and I have a right to never see the person who tried to murder me and the person who beat the shit out of me my entire life. So, no, fuck your stupid ass opinion. If what child abuse does is it justifies violence, and it also shows that you're just an oppressor molester. That's all you are, an oppressor molester. And that's a term that I coined, but it's very much makes sense. In fact, I have a Jeffrey Dahmer page pulled up here because there's an incident where he's gay, he gets some guy to come into his house, and then they wanted to leave. Here it is. So, Stephen Mark Hicks. This is the first guy that Jeffrey Dahmer, who, I mean, I used to think Hitler was just pure evil. Too many people defend Hitler. Jeffrey Dahmer seems to be very hard to defend a Jeffrey Dahmer. That's evil. He's evil. He is an oppressor molester, okay? So, he's sitting there talking about picking up this 18-year-old hitchhiker named Stephen Mark Hicks. Dahmer lured the youth to his house on the pretext to his house on the pretext of the pair drinking alcohol together. Hicks, who had been hitchhiking to a rock concert in Lockwood Corners, agreed to accompany Dahmer to his house. According to Dahmer, after several hours drinking and listening to music, Hicks wanted to leave, and Dahmer didn't want him to. No, you're my pet. I own you. You're not allowed to leave. So what does Jeffrey Dahmer do? In response, Jeffrey Dahmer bludgeoned him with a 10-pound dumbbell, right? One of them weights. And Dahmer later stated he struck Hicks twice from behind with the dumbbell as Hicks sat upon the chair. So he's sitting on the chair. He just goes over and just hits him on the head, right? That's violence. Wanton violence for any, I mean, we'll get to the 4 big evils before, because I don't see any morality. I don't see anybody who has actually principles. Because it doesn't make any sense. If a cop was to fuck my life over and they say, well, you shouldn't have broke the law, damn it, really? So, okay, let's go to the speeding. If he's speeding, then I'm allowed to beat the shit out of him and arrest him and say, hey, don't break the law. If there's a sense of morality, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So if it's right for me to get, injured because of because of speeding, if it's right for me to get injured because of that, then it's right for him to get injured because of it too. But I don't think that's how people think. I don't think people actually have a principle saying, hey, if you're a speeder, then you deserve to get hurt. They just kiss the cops' asses, and anything they do, they can do no harm whatsoever. And you're the bad person for even objecting. How dare you even say something bad? You broke the law, fuck you. Well, they broke the law and I just arrested them. Are you going to defend me? Nah, I might get shot, right? I might get shot if I arrest a police officer, do a citizen's arrest for them breaking the law. So there's a hypocrisy there. There's such a strong hypocrisy. When they do it, it's acceptable, but if I do it, it's not acceptable. Now, that's not right. It's not right and that's not fair. Okay, so Hicks, he wants to leave. Dahmer's like, no, I own you. Hits him over the head with a dumbbell. And when he was just sitting on the chair. When Hicks fell unconscious, Dahmer strangled him to death with the bar of the dumbbell and then stripped the clothes from Hicks's body before masturbating as he stood above the corpse. So that I saw a documentary on Dahmer. He used to go around killing neighborhood cats and small animals, and he used to get a sexual pleasure out of murder. I've heard some people, they'll have a kill boner. This is in a war zone. And so this is, that's sick, but it also shows you that the sex drive is one of the most potent and strong drivers of human behavior. Emma Goldman, one of my favorite, American historical figures, even said that. She's logical, very smart, but she even admitted that her urge to have sex very much influenced what she did in life. So this is an oppressor molester. This is an oppressor molester. He says, I want you to stay here. How dare you leave? And if you're going to leave me, then I'll kill you. And so, that's an oppressor molester. I'd like to think we all can agree that Jeffrey Dahmer is a low-life piece of shit, very evil. I don't know. I don't see many people actually have any type of morality or principles. So let's carry on. Okay, so with the expungement, I had... This all goes back to the expungement, okay? Because with the library book, here's all the injuries that I had to sustain, okay? Let's assume that what the state is saying is true. I said statute of limitations to Easterling. This is in Kenton County, too. I'm in Breckniridge County. So I had to drive 5 hours just to go to court. I go there 3 times. I had to fill up my tank of gas, $50 each time every time I went. I had about $130 in my pocket when I was in Warren County. Okay, so I got there's 2 courts that I have to go to because of this library book, debacle. I didn't have insurance and I didn't register my tags, so I had to do that. I went ahead and got some insurance and I went ahead and fixed my tags. I didn't have the money. It wasn't like I was trying to flaunt the law. It's poverty, and these district judges and these circuit court judges, they're making $115,000, $130,000 a year. Do they not understand poverty? Do they not understand how that works? If you don't have enough money to even pay for the insurance, and then you take someone's license away, and then you fine them even more money, you get a $500 fine, you get a $1,000 fine. If that's what they do, it's poverty. That's all it is. You're making $100-something thousand a year. What the fuck is $1,000, for an insurance? It's nothing. What the hell is $100 worth of taxes and registration? That's nothing. But for some people, for the 1 million poor people in Kentucky, that's everything. It's absolutely everything. And so, these judges don't seem to understand that. They're getting all this money from taxpayers, and they, every day, day in, day out, the same thing I saw in Warren County Court, the same thing I saw in Breckniridge County Court, the same thing I saw in Kenton County Court. It's a bunch of poor people. A bunch of poor people's corralled together who's either ignorant of their rights or they just, got busted for some dumb shit. And then these, six-figured salary judges, millionaire judges, some of them, and you only can be a judge if you've been a lawyer. So these are lawyer politicians. You want to talk about people who, lie through their teeth all the goddamn time? Lawyers, politicians. Oh, hell, let's make them judges, right? So they don't have to worry about the day-to-day struggle. They don't have to worry about sort of making ends meet to collect your little pennies just so you can sort of, pay for the tiny bit of necessities that we all need. So the library book thing, okay, so let's assume that the state has an argument. Let's assume that Easterling says, okay, I said statute of limitations, but it turns out if you had filed the charges within the year, then it doesn't matter. There is no statute of limitations. If the charges were filed, it doesn't matter if it's 50 years from now, they can still fuck you over. Okay, so, the charge for the library book was a failure to give property back, something like that. It wasn't stealing, but that's essentially what they're saying. You checked out a book and you didn't return it, so you stole. Okay, that's one of the big four evils, okay? The big four evils that I have is murder, rape, stealing, and violence, okay? I like the, slavery, kidnapping. I'll throw those in there, but if we are a society that has no morality, let's agree on these four. Can we agree that stealing is wrong, that violence, hitting people is wrong, that murder and rape is wrong? If we can agree on that across the board, even if you got a badge, even if you're a judge, even if you're a millionaire, if you steal from somebody, if you rape somebody, if you use violence against somebody, if you murder somebody, that's a crime, and that's something that somebody should do something about. Okay, so, I took $60, right? I took $60. I had 3 books. I was going back to sort of explaining my situation. It was poverty. I had no place to go. And after she had sort of rubbed my head and said some people need to be kicked in the ass. Well, I've had my ass kicked, over 5,000 times. That's the fucking problem. That's the fucking problem. Is that violence, one of the 4 big evils, was allowed to go upon me over and over again. And it wasn't even for real, offenses. It was because, he was annoyed. My abuser was annoyed with me. Oh, I'm annoyed with you. Pow! Smack you across the face. Ha ha ha. It's violence. That's a crime. That's a crime. And if you can't see that violence is a crime, is rape, is stealing, is murder a crime? So, after she had said that, and, I felt like if I would have protested, she would have, got this person or that person involved, and then I would have totally been fucked over. So I had to sit there and accept her insulting me and humiliating me and saying that it was okay for violence to fall upon me. Fuck that. Fuck that shit. So the next day, she's out doing something, I don't know, driving around doing something. So just real quickly, I grabbed all my stuff, threw it into my truck, and then I drove to Northern Kentucky University because I was going to college too. I had 2 jobs, going to college, and she still wanted someone to kick my ass. I'm doing right and I'm doing good, but, an oppressor cannot acknowledge your humanity. They cannot acknowledge if you're doing something good for yourself. So I picked up all my stuff, I threw it inside my truck, and now I'm at Northern Kentucky University. I called my friend's parents, my friend that I had met at college, and I called their parents, right? People that just out of the blue didn't know me from Adam. And I asked, if I could stay there, and they said yes. And so I went ahead and I moved to Cleveland. And so evidently either I left the books at my aunt's house, or they was in the few possessions that I had grabbed my clothes, and I think that was it. I just grabbed a bunch of clothes. I mean, it was only a cab. That's all I had with the truck. So, I don't know if I would have grabbed any of my books, and I've left a bunch of books actually at Bellevue. I had like a whole pile of books that I used to be carrying around at the, I want to say Fairfield Avenue, right across from Pasquale's. I had a whole pile of books, including some Harvard classics. So anyways, that was before then, okay? So, 30 different addresses, 50 different jobs. I've gone through some trials and tribulations. But that's the situation of when I didn't return the library book. So it wasn't I checked out the library book and kept it. It wasn't that I stole it. It was just that I didn't, I was involved with my life and I was very busy, and so I forgot about it, or I had left it. And so what do you do in that situation? I'm in Cleveland. I'm staying at my my friend's parents' house. Immediately get a job. Worry about the boss, what they're telling you. Worry about what the people at the house is telling you. You don't have time really to think about making sure you'd closed all the loose ends. Make sure you got all the loose ends gathered up. So that's the situation. That's the situation that I came out of in 2004 when the library books was checked out and I returned. So that's $60, right? Okay, so I stole $60. Now, there's a better way of doing all of this, okay? And I'm going to get to that the way Warren County did. I like how Warren County, you had to talk to the prosecutor before you went for the judge. When you go before the judge has got an ego, and they don't want you to disagree with them. And if the judge starts off automatically, so tell me why you're innocent. Well, so you think I'm guilty? Fuck you. How about that? Fuck you. That's how I'm innocent. Oh, well, you're contempt of court, get the fuck out. Oh, well, I thought I was presumed innocent until proven guilty. But evidently, because you're a fucking bully, because you're an oppressor molester, I had to get screwed over. Because the prosecutor had talked to me beforehand. We had worked out an agreement, and it was, it was probation. So because I didn't have tags and because I didn't have insurance, they said for 2 years I got to make sure that I always re-up on my tags and that I always have insurance. So I got probation for that. But I talked to the prosecutor beforehand. It was a private one-on-one conversation. It wasn't a battle of wills, battle of egos before the entire court. And I'm thankful for the Warren County court for doing that. I'm very appreciative of that. If it had been in Breckniridge County, that piece of shit, low-life fucking judge would have fucked my life over. Well, you don't get a driver's license. Well, I live out in the fucking country. How am I going to get a job? I don't know. You should have thought about that before you broke the law. Okay, yeah, fuck you. You're making $110,000, $15,000 a year of my taxpayer money, and then you're going to charge and tack on all these fees. All right, so let's sort of get to a concluding point on this, because I do want to talk a little. It's about expungements. It's all about expungements. So eventually they dismissed the charges. Eventually it could have been done easier. A phone call, a letter in the mail. Hey, you did this. I went around not knowing, that I had these books in my possession, and a warrant was put out for my arrest, right? Because that's a priority. And okay, $60. All right, stealing is one of the big four, right? And I just feel like there's better ways that you could have done it. A phone call, hey, this situation, hey, fix it. The cop could have had discretion, you should fix this. But instead, he throws me in fucking jail. Throws me in fucking jail over this shit. And it wasn't because of the lack of registration or the insurance. It was when I laughed about the library. He was so, did you check out a library book or something 11 years ago? And I said, a library book? I'm serious. Get out of the car. Okay, yes, sir. Right? Immediately compliant, and even though that was bullshit, he actually kept my dignity intact. He kept my dignity intact. He didn't arrest me. He didn't put me in handcuffs. But when I go into the court, or I go into the Warren County jail, those pieces of shit, man. The jailers are such fucking assholes there. You go in there, and, I'm sitting there sort of just trying to make light of the situation. You guys are going to, I got a tie on, I'm all dressed nice, trying to do an interview because I'm running for office, and now I'm in fucking jail, right? Oh, now I'm in fucking jail. And I told them it's all because of a library book. Well, the one lady looks at my thing and says, well, this thing says here, it says the license and the registration. Okay, fuck you, fuck you. I'm innocent until proven guilty, so you don't know what the fuck is going on. But they immediately, they want to act like, people piss me off sometimes. It seems like if you have to say it, then people will be like, they think they're so goddamn smart, right? It'd be like, hey, I got, I don't know, somebody robbed me. Well, maybe it was your fault. Did you have security locks on your doors? No, I didn't. I mean, I locked the door or whatever, but they could have broke the window and came on in. Well, see, it's your fault. Oh, you're so fucking clever. You're so fucking smart. You know, it's so hard for people to empathize and just say, man, that shit sucks. That sucks. Why can't people say that? Because if you say that sucks, does that mean you gotta, like, give a shit? Like, I mean, just give a shit doesn't take any money, any time whatsoever. That sucks. But they can't do that because they'd have to empathize and recognize you as a human being. So ultimately, what happens? Ultimately, what happens with the library book thing? Okay, so you know, I went to jail and they acted like they was gonna fucking rape me or beat the shit out of me because the white, blue-eyed blonde woman started talking shit. And if they're talking shit, you just gotta be like, okay, thanks, yeah, I appreciate it, thank you. And so because of a fucking library book, I could have got into an assault or got some fucking bullshit in a prison, and then they'd been like, oh, he assaulted a prison guard. Oh, what if they assaulted me first? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. That's justice. An eye for an eye. It's also the golden rule. You do unto others as you do that you'd want them to do unto you. So, you know, you want me to go around harassing you, and if you don't like my harassment, that I beat the shit out of you? And if they laid their hands on me, that's acceptable? Jailers are allowed to beat the fuck out of you, and if you defended yourself, then you're the one that gets charges. I actually got into an argument. I know I'm getting off track, but I got into an argument with one of Jason, I'll just say Jason, from Louisville's friends. And she was sitting there saying that even though one person in the jail had been caught doing some shit, not all of them are bad, not all the jailers are bad. And I was like, okay, well, why don't you name something that a jailer has done that's criminal? And then she typed, oh, I'm not going to publicly say that. I'm not going to publicly state something that a jailer... You think you're going to trick me on that? That means she admitted that she knew that there was criminal activity that was going down. And it was also saying that, you know, if let's say that thing had happened, she gets in my face and is yelling at me about the damn fucking library book. And got people to start pounding on me, and I defended myself. There was one guy, get up against the wall. Yes, sir, whatever you want. Guess I'm gonna get fucking, you know, raped again. And then he feels up all over me, and then he eventually says, well, you know what, how I know you're lying because of this, that, and this, and the other. Fuck you, man. Fuck you. If I was to go up to one of you fucking jailers and I was say, hey, get up against the fucking wall and just start feeling up all over you and then say, hey, you're a liar. Yeah, nah, I don't think you're telling the truth. You're a liar. Fuck you. Fuck you. And, you know, that's, what's good for the goose, good for the gander. They wouldn't appreciate it, and then that would have given them, you know, cause to fucking put more violence on me. So, the reason why I knew that Jason's friend in Louisville, you know, they saw criminal activity, they seen jailers commit crime, did not report it, did not say anything. But how many times did they throw an assault charge or some bullshit on somebody else? And then that's public record, and then the whole world sees it. Fucking hypocrites, man. The fucking hypocrites. My principles don't just stop at, you know, don't rape, don't hit, don't... you know, no violence and no stealing. It's also tell the truth, don't be ignorant, fuck superstition, fuck tyranny, and there's another one. It was what Diderot said to Voltaire about teaching of history. You get a burning hatred of lying, ignorance, superstition, and tyranny, and one more thing that's escaping me. But anyways, that's sort of... It's the golden rule. You do unto others, you have them doing to yourself. If I can't help you, I'm not going to hurt you. And I think some people are like that. It's like, well, I want a relationship with this person, but, you know, I don't know how to talk to them, so fuck them, I'm going to hurt them. Okay, so, let's go ahead and end this up with, I'll get more to the expungements on the next one. This one will be the library book. Because, okay, so, the end result of the library book is, so I got the Warren County thing that I got to deal with the insurance, and then I have Kenton County that I have to deal with the library book. So I'm in Breckniridge County. I got to drive an hour and a half one way, and then I got to drive, you know, 3-4 hours north, and then I got to come back, right? So, and it takes a full tank of gas. It was on a Monday. I was supposed to be there on a Monday. I woke up a little late, 3-hour drive, you know, like I had to wake up, what, you know, 5 o'clock or so, and then it's a different timeline, different time zone. I'm an hour before everybody, so I actually had to wake up 3 or 4 o'clock, and so I drive up there. I called them up. I said I was going to be late, and I get there about noon. And I've been there, you know, I was there the next day, and the court lasted till noon. But for some reason, it's like they had to hurry up and wrap it all up before I even got there. So I drive You know, and I also hit a deer. I also hit a fucking deer that morning. So I'm pissed off. I have to go to this court system, do this bullshit. And so I drive all the way up there, and I'm late, and I missed the court date. So now what? What the fuck? You know, they put a bench warrant out for me. They put a bench warrant out on me because I skipped the court date, contempt of court, right? So for a misdemeanor, see how this shit just keeps escalating? And then if I had a regular job, if I worked at, let's say, you know, a shit job, I worked at Walmart, and I had to miss a day for court, it didn't matter if I was guilty or not. You're missing a day for court. There's something wrong with you. You know, you're one of them troublemakers. No, I ran into a troublemaker called the Kentucky State Police. And then I ran into some jailer troublemakers. And then I ran into a judge troublemaker. And so, you know, I'm sitting at a court, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do here? So eventually I called one of the clerks, and they said, you have two options. Turn yourself in, and then maybe we'll get you a court date next week. Okay, no, I'm not going to do that. Nope. They say, well, you can show up tomorrow morning, talk to us, and then we'll put you on the docket for the next day. Yes, I'm going to do that one. So I drive on back. I hit the deer, too, and it busted out my grill. You know, my little plastic grill or whatever, and but thank God, you know, it didn't damage my vehicle. If I didn't have a vehicle, I wouldn't have been able to get there. So then I go back, and I get up there, and I am confronted with the judge, who's a total asshole. He's a total fucking prick. Okay, and you know, I mentioned, I wrote some of this stuff down, but essentially he had said that, you know, you're a thief, how dare you, and because I said, why don't you just dismiss it, and then I said, I want a lawyer, I want a jury trial, and he says, well, how'd you get here? Well, I have a truck. Well, if you have a truck, you could sell your truck and get a lawyer, so therefore, you're not poor enough to actually get a lawyer. He's actually got in trouble for this shit before. Kenneth Easterling, he's a little fucking dork, he's a little fucking twit, okay? I saw him, like, I'm going to keep on going. Even this might be 45 minutes or so. He had, right beforehand, I'm sitting in court, you know, waiting for my name to be called, and he was talking to a bunch of prisoners who was in the other room, and they're all wearing their orange jumpsuits, but it's all online, it's all on video. And so he's sitting there, you know, asking everybody these questions, you know, guilty or not guilty, and sort of arraigning them. And one guy had said, hey, can you release my own recognizance? No. And then he says, well, can you just 10% it? Which is, I guess, if it's like a $1,500 bail bond, then 10% means if you have $150, you can get out. And he says, no. And the guy was like, you know, oh, come on. And then the guy looked at the camera and said, no. You know, he's a little fucking dork, man. He's in front of a camera. It's in the courthouse. He's got all the fucking cops and everywhere, and he thinks he's being a fucking tough guy because he's looking into a camera, shouting at a fucking prisoner, acting like a total asshole. Being a fucking prick to him. Being a fucking prick. And a lot of it was just, you know, dumb, petty shit anyways. But he's not a tough guy, but he's a dickhead. He's a prick. And then when I said that, I had pointed out that the, you know, I asked for the lawyer. He says if you have a truck, you could sell your truck and therefore get a public pretender. Usually they're public pretenders. And I mean, that's insane. That's nuts. I qualified. I'm poor. I don't have money. And if I sold my truck, I only paid $1,500 and it's wrecked now. So what am I going to get? $500 for it? If I sell my truck, get $500, what fucking lawyer is going to take this case for $500? And who's going to take it serious for $500? Oh, sure, I'll take it. Go there. Probably just throw me under the fucking bus anyways. Oh, yeah, he's guilty. You're right, Honor. You need to spend, I got you 60 days in jail. So, you know, there is no justice. Easterling's got in trouble for this. In fact, he brags about not giving people a lawyer. The Miranda rights, I mean, they always say that speech in the very beginning. You have a right to an attorney, a right to a lawyer, a right to this, a jury trial, a right to everything else. But I think it's just constitutionally obligated. They have to say that thing, and then immediately afterwards, they try to fuck you over. They try to hurry up and get you to say this, say that, and then treat you like a dickhead. And then hurry up and get you to say guilty, and then they feel like they've done something. Well, hell, I've convicted over 5,000 poor Kentuckians. Bunch of dumbass Kentuckians who didn't fucking vote, who doesn't matter. You know, I could go to my donors, my political donors, and saying, hey, look, I've thrown over, you know, 10,000 people in jail. I'm a good judge. No, you're not a good judge. You're not actually, you know, courts can be a good sort of, not arbitrary, but an arbitrator, a way to resolve disputes. I have a dispute with my neighbor, go to court, we can resolve the dispute. It's a non-biased third party. Listen to this party, listen to that party, make a determination. That's what courts are supposed to be for. It's not like that. It's not like that. In fact, my experiences has been quite the opposite. Someone charges a charge on me, I'm fucked. I get fucked. It doesn't fucking matter what the thing is. But if I put charges on them, then nobody takes the shit serious. So, with the end result of the library book, okay, so, after I talked to the prosecutor, and he said that if I could get it taken care of, after the fucking judge was an asshole, he said if I could get it taken care of, then he would recommend it to be dismissed. So I don't even know why I didn't think about it beforehand, but I went to the library, and the guy was nice, paid $30, and then it was taken care of, right? The situation, the theft was taken care of. It was a long time ago. They gave me a break, and that was sort of the end of the dispute between the library and me. But now the fucking courts and the fucking lawyers who have to always exacerbate and make the situation worse. Now I gotta deal with these pricks. Okay, so the end result is I drove up there, after I went ahead and paid the thing off, and I go back in the court, and they was like, no, wait your turn. And there's like 100 motherfuckers in there, so I had to wait, 2 or 3 hours. And then when I finally, I just said, fuck it, I'll just come back, and I had something else to do that day. So I came out to my truck, and there was a meter maid about ready to fucking throw a fucking parking ticket on my truck. Like, what the fuck? It's like, I paid, there was gas money, there is the parking meters, and then I go back there for a third time, and they didn't call my name, and I was like, hey, where's my name at? And they said, it's all dismissed. And I was like, oh, good, then where can I get my bail bond? I go up to the 3rd floor, Kenton County, and one of them fucking bureaucrats, right? First, she's a prick, just sort of, she insulted, my name. Oh, what about your name? Well, I explained it to her. Well, I don't want to carry the legacy of an asshole. She's like, oh, I didn't want to piss you off. The fuck if you didn't, because I just told you the explanation, and now you're being a prick. You want to make fun of me. That's the reason. So, she made fun of me, and then I was sitting there kind of bitching about the jails and how they had experienced and how they had charged me some extra money, and she goes, well, there's actually not a bail bond fee here. And so she charged me $25. So I had a $100 bail bond. She gives me $75 back. If taking a library book, $60 worth of library books, is a crime because it's stealing, then stealing cash is also a crime. So that bureaucrat stole $25 away from me. They also took $25 away from me at the jail for some other fucked up fee. So there's a fee, for something else. She said there was a warrant fee. So there's a warrant fee, a bail bond fee. Clearly they was able to do the bail bond without charging the $25 fee, because how else could I have gotten out? It was $130 in my pocket. $30 is just gone. So I'm assuming they took that $30 plus, 25 plus change and just put it in their fucking pockets, or they charged it for a fee. I don't know. So that's $34 plus 25. So now I got what? That's $60 about, and so that's $60 in fees. 3 times I had to drive up there. So that's $50 worth of gas. It's $150 worth of gas. $150 plus the $60 worth of fee. That's $210. Then there was $1 or $2 or whatever for the meter, and whatever food I have plus my time. But essentially that's $200 that the state of Kentucky fucking stole from me, and they took 3 days out of my life over some stupid ass bullshit. They robbed me. She took $25 away from me. The fucking jail took $34 away from me. And, my time and the gas money, I think it should be put on them. If they would have called me, sent a letter, here's a check, thing would have been done. Done and over with. But instead of actually, trying to resolve the situation as amicably as possible, these are pricks who have to try to exacerbate the situation, try to make it worse, try to fucking throw your sorry dumbass in jail. And so I feel like my mistake was being obedient to that, Kentucky State Trooper. He said, get out of the car for the thing, I feel like I should never, I should never be in that situation ever again. Because as soon as they was able to get my compliance, they was able to put me in jail, possibly get assaulted. I've been raped at a Louisville jail, so I could have got raped again. They stole 3 days out of my life. over $200 that they took from me. So if $60 was a crime, then $200 is a crime too. And if I was at Walmart, you know, I could have lost my job, and now I have to fucking just pick up my pieces all together because they're fucking idiots, because they're fucking stupid. And the bureaucrats, she looked at the computer screen, and that's, well, the computer screen says I gotta rob you. The Kentucky State Trooper said, well, the computer screen says I gotta throw you in prison. These people are the fucking criminals. The 4 biggest evils. Don't murder, don't rape, no violence, and don't steal. If you want to say that I was a criminal because I forgot to turn in the library books because I was being shuffled around, I was poor, forgot the thing, then you're a fucking criminal too. In fact, you're a worse criminal for stealing $200 away from me. For stealing $200 fucking dollars away from me. What happened to me should happen to you fuckers. What happened to me should happen to you motherfuckers. That fat, overweight fucking bureaucrat in Kenton County, you took $25 away from me. Fuck you for that. Those stupid ass fucking jailers in Warren County, you stole $30-something away from me. Fuck you for that. And then the state trooper, and then the fucking Easterling judge, and all you assholes, y'all took $150 away from me, plus you need to fix my fucking grill, my truck. Will I get any fucking justice? No. Is there any morality to this situation? No. Are these people good? No. They're fucking criminals. They do whatever they can against anybody that they want to until somebody tells them stop, until somebody says enough is enough. And until somebody says that, they're in a building. They have cops all around them. They're going to keep on fucking with people. They're going to keep on hurting people. And they're not going to stop. And I think it's absolute bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. My thing was, you know, inadvertent. I didn't steal the books. I forgot to return them. And, you know, I paid for that. Me and the library were cool. In fact, the guy was so fucking cool, it was weird. It was weird to talk to a decent person out of this entire fucking process. He was so fucking cool. But everybody else, the bureaucrats, the jailers, the judge, the prosecutor is pretty decent at Kenton County. But what the fuck are they going to do? I'm going to take us to trial, you stupid motherfuckers. Y'all trying to fuck over my life. Fuck you. I'll take us to trial, you pieces of shit. They had no choice, really. So when they have no choice, and so, you know, that's those are crimes that had happened to me, and yes, I'm fucking pissed off about it. I wish I would have videotaped her and said, I'm just documenting this. You're stealing $25 away from me. I'd love to go back to that jail and say, hey, this is the person that was fucking with me and harassing me and tried to get me assaulted, possibly raped. Here's the guy that put his hands all over me for no reason. These people did bad things to me. If I did that shit to them, you know, because they're in a position of authority, I get fucked over. But they're allowed to do that to me? No fucking way. I think that's absolute bullshit. And, let's see, I think I was trying, oh yeah, it's not just $200. Now, because it's on my record, I have to get it expunged. Expungement costs $50. So if I, you know, even though the charges were dismissed, there was no crime, I had, you know, resolved the situation, I got punished over and over and over again, and I have to pay $50 on top of it. So it wasn't just $210, it was $260. $260 fucking dollars. That's almost half my mortgage. They stole half my fucking mortgage, stole 3 days out of my life, and if I had a regular, you know, full-time job, I could have lost my fucking job. And who's going to be out here for me? When I file charges against these assholes for stealing $25, since, you know, $60 is the biggest crime in the world, who's going to push those charges? Who's going to take that serious? Nobody is, and I think that's absolute bullshit. I don't go around hurting people. What I did was inadvertent, but what they did was intentional. They intentionally wanted to hurt me. They intentionally wanted to humiliate me, and they intentionally took money out of my pocket. Those are bad people. Those are the bad people. Those are fucking, that's wickedness. That's what wickedness looks like. Someone who intentionally hurts somebody else and has no remorse for the shit that they did. That's a psycho. That's an oppressor molester. Jeffrey Dahmer didn't give a fuck after killing that guy. And these people, they don't care, you know, just go with the violence and the stealing. They didn't feel bad. They didn't feel bad. Whereas I see, okay, yeah, I accidentally took some library books a long time ago. I can make amends with that. They don't have any inclination of justice or anything else. So, you know, it's an injustice system, and people's lives can be totally fucked over for just a misdemeanor. Expungements are a big issue. I'll get to that more in the next video, but that's how my book Ghazi turned out. Me getting arrested for a library book almost ended up fucking over my life, and that's not fair. That's not fair, and that's not right. It seems almost because I'm a good person doing good things, it almost seems like, maybe I should join Big Brother. Maybe I should get a badge that I could go around beating people up and taking their fucking money and doing whatever the fuck I please. I could be just as evil as these motherfuckers. That would have to mean I'd, sell out my soul. And I like my sense of morality, and I like my sense of justice, so I'm not going to get rid of it. But I just don't see how people can sit there and say that these fucking pricks are good people. I don't see how anybody can defend these people. So, yeah. That's the end of Book Ghazi, the expungement. I have to still get it expunged. Even though the charges was dismissed, I still got to pay $50. So not only did I resolve the situation between me and the library because of the so-called fucking criminal justice system, they tacked on another $260, stole 3 days out of my life. My grill's broken on my truck. And, it could have turned out a lot worse. It could have turned out a lot worse. And that's not fair. That's not right. Where's the justice in this situation? And yes, I want satisfaction. Yes. And I know I'm not going to forgive and forget. And if I can't get revenge, then maybe I'll just have to let it go. But I'm not going to forgive and forget. Fuck you. What do you mean forgive and forget? They did some bad shit to me, and it wasn't right. And if I called the cops, they wouldn't give a shit. So who the fuck is here protecting and serving me? Making sure that, nobody robs or steals from me. And that's, I'll say this last thing. Judge Easterling made a big speech. Well, you took a library book and you stole taxpayer money and took away from all the people here. You did that. That's what you did. Easterling gets paid by taxpayer money. Easterling gets $120,000 a year for 4 years. So he's going to get nearly $500,000. And the only thing he does is he fucks poor people over day in and day out. Day in and day out, he fucks poor people over. Tax on fees, tries to humiliate them, get them to say guilty. Doesn't give them the public attorney that we're constitutionally obligated to have. If you cannot afford an attorney, then one will be appointed for you. And so, that's not only does he take taxpayer money, but he's also tacking on fees from the taxpayers too. So that's double taxation. He's getting paid with taxpayer money, and then he's throwing fucking fees on it. Why do we pay for this shit? Why should I pay for this?